So if you take a look at this, this shows you kind of the age. These are original sinks. You have exactly 0.43 seconds to get your hands rinsed. You can see this. This is subpar. Just asking to fall off the wall. Then we've got some other over here. But it's kind of the state of the bathrooms have been an issue. What I've noticed when kids come into rooms like this and they see how we value their spaces, they don't respect it as much. And it's human nature. They're never going to hold their bar higher than we hold ours. The cafeteria is interesting. We have 2 cafeterias. We have 2 sets of cooks, 2 sets of equipment, and each cafeteria has 4 different lunches. So we manage 8 lunches. That is not screaming of efficiency. It's really inefficient.
It's a lot of extra expense.
It is. It is. It's difficult to manage because of the 2 cafeterias. A lot of times the infrastructure in here is not working the way we need it to. You can see signs over there that say "Do not plug crock pots in." And the reason for that is because it blows the breaker. A lot of times when our cooks are using all of their equipment, getting ready for lunch, it'll blow. There have been times when I would stand in there and just flip the breaker so they could keep cooking because we can't afford to stop cooking. We got to keep preparing food for the kids. So it's those things have really aged in this building and need to be remedied.
And the new bond issue, if it passes, that'll actually consolidate both into a single service kitchen that covers the entire campus, correct?
Correct. We would have a much larger cafeteria, kind of more of a commons area, where not only can we meet as groups, we can also bring the community in, and it would serve as community space as well. But the kitchen would be equipped to handle all of our kids, not at once, but over the course of 3 or 4 lunches, we would be able to handle all of our kids. And that's going to increase our efficiencies a great deal.
In the new bond issue, they've got new athletic spaces proposed. As a parent, my daughter in this room right over here, she actually gets ready with the Chieftain Stars dance team in this really interesting looking room that's in here. Is that, are those kind of spaces planned with the new bond issue? I know one of the issues that people have is the potential for why do we need a new gym? I'm sure we'll talk about that some, but you know, with those extra spaces that are around it, it's more than just a gym, right?
It is much more than a gym. It's support spaces. It's health classrooms. It's athletic training rooms. It's dressing rooms for groups like you just said. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there'll be plenty of space for those things.
Okay, excellent.
So this is the original gym. In 05, they added that set of bleachers. So the wall, really the end of the gym was the wall, the outside wall. And the end of the building was that wall. So when you walk out the gym, we'll just go over there. When you walk out of the gym, you were walking outside back in 05. So they did some improvements here. But in the end, you know, I think for volleyball, it's a frustration because the ceiling's too low. If you watch volleyball, it's not ADA compliant. So when somebody comes in a wheelchair, we find the safest place we can on the sides. We can't get them up in the stands. There's not enough. So we do the best with what we have. I love this gym personally. I think a lot of people like this gym and they like the history of it. But I have the luxury of standing on the floor. I have a great view. Some parents, some patrons aren't happy with the sight lines from the stands within that. But others are. So, you know, getting rid of this gym is not part of the plan. We want to keep this gym.
Like that.
Right. So we want to keep this gym, and we want to add that other competitive gym, and so we'll have them both right next to each other. Currently, on game nights, we send parents and patrons and students across the parking lot to the West Campus. And in the winter, that's not a good thing to do because it creates some safety issues. You never know. It's dark out there. A lot of people don't know which door to go in. There might be patches of ice out there, and we've had lots of people fall and sustain some injuries from that. So we want to avoid that movement on game nights. And having a gym right next door is ideal.
There have been some questions about whether or not this gym is actually competition size because Keisha has not picked us as a hosting site.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
Sure. I believe Keisha requires the floor to be 84 feet long. A lot of new schools today are building their gym floors 94 because that's what college has. Our floor is 88 feet long, so it fits in with what's required. I think right now, Keisha, the top 4 seeds get home seed, so they get home court advantage, regardless of condition of your gym. That wasn't the case a few years ago. The thing with Keisha is you never know if the rules are going to change back or what they're going to go to. We want to have an optimal setting for our kids. The other thing about the gym is that 9th graders, sub-varsity teams sometimes are forced to practice at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And that's a long day for a kid coming in 5:30, you go to school all day, you go to your activities and practice at night, or maybe it's a late game and they get home and then they have to do homework. It's our goal we want all of our kids to have enough rest to take on the next day. So that creates issues that we want to avoid. Having a new competitive gym is going to provide more space for more kids to practice at the same time. So you could put an entire program on that floor after school as opposed to 5:30 in the morning.
And regardless of athletics, these gyms are utilized for curriculum throughout the day. And that includes 2 gyms. So now there are gym classes over in the West Campus during the day while this gym is being utilized by gym classes. So there is a need for 2 gyms regardless of what level they are.
Yeah.
The 2 gyms are needed.
During the day.